Creatives are adaptable, resilient, passionate, and great problem solvers, just like what an entrepreneur should be. And yet artists and business people hardly get recognized as one and the same. Well, welcome to Bridging That Gap. Hello, fellow creatives, and welcome to the podcast Artist Takes on Business School. I'm your host, Mayada Maya, a self-employed life model who, upon graduating from her BA in Fine Arts, lost the love, admiration, and respect for the art world, but not for artists. This 2-year-long podcast will be tailored to my fellow creatives who want to build a sustainable and financially rewarding creative career without selling out. Get the behind the scenes, the insights, the knowledge, and the encouragement from people who know exactly how you feel. And of course, from entrepreneurial experts alike. I feel like if, as creatives, we would have, instead of opted for a fine art degree, we went for a marketing degree and then just continued doing our art on the side, I think would be much more able to actually make a living from our work. I find that creatives are able to problem solve a lot more effectively than those that aren't as creative or that don't engage with that creativity so often. Because what creativity allows us to do is take different concepts and abstract concepts and put them together in a unique way, which can a lot of the times offer solutions that weren't readily available before. I think that's also why a lot of creatives are able to find shortcuts for things, where as soon as they learn how to do something, they're like, okay, cool, now how can I do this faster or better? Or how can I make this look nicer even, There's this element of almost perfectionism that we all kind of carry in our pocket, and our little inner devil monologue that can be highly beneficial when pursuing anything within the business world or business school. We're going to have to be able to work well with others and be adaptable and problem solve and find solutions to things and think outside of the box and innovate. And these are all things that already come more naturally to those that are more creatively engaged. So I just find it kind of funny that business and creativity get so pulled apart, like they're not almost one and the same. Naturally, there's some aspects of business that creatives maybe struggle a lot more with. For example, for me, STEM stuff, like math, oh my god. And I think a big part of that is just that I haven't really engaged with math in a long time. That muscle hasn't been worked in a while. So I become overwhelmed when I have to do simple math problems. But, there are foundations that we're all able to gain with a little hard work and some time and effort that I just don't see why a creative would necessarily be so wrong. Or creatives sometimes get a lot of crap for being a bit peculiar and weird, maybe a bit of an outsider. And let's face it, a good amount of us really like that. I knew I very much liked that when I was, properly maintaining a creative practice. I wanted to be different, and I wanted to be outside in the public and be visibly creative. I loved when people would come up to me and be like, hey, are you an artist? Or I would go with my trousers that had paint on them, or when I'd have paint on my hands, and it was like, yeah, I'm an artist. Which I think, especially as a student in a fine arts degree, is, you're young and you're just trying to almost prove to the world that you're full of potential, you're this big up-and-comer. And I think if we're able to take that with us, that same sense of identity with this creative practice, and apply it towards a business degree or business activities, I think we'd be able to find even more happiness with our lives as artists. Because a lot of the times the big creatives that are out there, artists, musicians, there's a big focus for them and their team on public relations and marketing and getting deals. And there's just all this other stuff that we don't see very often, the background stuff. And thankfully for YouTube, there's been definitely a wave of several years of other creatives educating people on that, which is amazing. Like, that's fantastic. It's what I hope to be able to do with this podcast and this channel as well. But if you're thinking about going into art school, maybe consider doing a little bit of a shift. You might not like the education as much, but I think it would be a lot more beneficial for you in the long run. Because if the focus is not on the long game, most of what I say is kind of ridiculous. Like, why the fuck would I go into a marketing degree if I want to be an artist? Like, if I go to an art school, they should technically be teaching me this stuff, right? They should be teaching me how to be an artist in today's world, but they don't. In my experience, most of my cohort have experienced the exact same thing that I have, where they don't really know how to function outside of university as an artist, like as a professional artist, trying to make money from their work. And it's hard. I mean, setting up a business of any sort, starting anything is hard. It takes effort and time. But I think that by going into a business master's, at least for myself, is going to be so empowering. I'll not only learn the lingo, the how-tos, and get to know the right people and how to sell, all the stuff that I already get really engaged with. I already have a desire to put those things together. I've always been a generalist. I've always been someone that cannot or decides or chooses or simply just refuses to specialize in one thing. Whereas now, it feels like I'm actually forging a path that I want to walk down. My own path. And I think that by honing the side of me that really enjoys business stuff and sales and networking and talking to people, with the other side, the more introverted, the more almost sensual and delicate and naive side, if I'm able to put those two together, I think I have a much bigger chance of creating a life and living a life that I'm more happy and proud to be living. And that's why I'm pursuing the business masters. Because I think having the artistic skills already gives me a leg up. I think I'm already more prepared. Also, having life experience after my BA to see that, actually, the studies I got, it wasn't as effective. It wasn't what I was hoping it would be. It took me to a worse spot, almost, at least in mindset, to where I was when I began my BA. Yeah, so I definitely think creatives have a leg up in the business world. It's just a matter of applying yourself to learn and develop skills that you maybe have a negative connotation with or poor relationship with. But imagine if you're able to forge a path where your creativity can sit center and you have the foundation in the business world to launch your own thing. I mean, that to me just sounds perfect. Having decided to take a year, almost 2 years, to do a business degree, one, affords me the time to take in as much information as needed, because it's basically part of the whole system, but also let my brain kind of naturally find solutions and ideas and then start putting them together. And I mean, this podcast is exactly that as well. I want it to be more of almost documentation of the process, but I also want to offer, tips and guides and maybe some helpful advice for people that are in the same boat as I. Hopefully this will be a helpful channel and or podcast for you. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening this far. I really hope that it was not too atrocious for you. These first, 5 to 7 episodes that I'll be uploading to launch this new podcast, well, they're kind of like test runs, and, hopefully you'll just get to know a little bit about me, how I think, my experiences in life, and what kind of brought me to the point that I am in now. I'll be starting my master's in entrepreneurship and innovation at Holt University, Holt International Business School, in September, so in just over a month. I've lined up some exceptional guests for you, though, which I'm very excited about, because this is... Wow, my network has completely changed and expanded within a matter of a month, which is insane. But yeah, I've lined up five different interviews that will be coming out, or I'll be launching for you to stream in August. And yeah, this is just a little message from your host, Mayada Maya, letting you know that there's a lot more to come and a lot better to come as well. But I needed to put in the reps, you know how it is. It's new. If anything, if you end up watching this after I've already launched, after there's already some interview things, don't even bother. You'll get to know me through the other episodes, the more finessed ones. This is more me just trying to put in the reps, get into the flow of things, understand how it works, and just get more comfortable to speak in front of the camera. Or in front of the mic. I have a camera, but whatever. It's fine. Sweet. Peace and love, and I hope you have a wonderful day, night, afternoon, weekend, week ahead of you. Much love. Ciao, ciao.